Yeah, it's gonna be weird, you know, work. Michael, ow! Ah! Sinuses! Okay, could you stop now? So yeah, I didn't think that the wind would be that strong that day. I checked the weather and it said that it wasn't going to be that windy, but you never know. So this is what happened in 2018, the year that if I were to describe last year in one word, it would probably be adolescence. So let's begin. So how January began was pretty productive. I got a 24-hour gym membership in late December of 2016, and I just continued to like grind and go to the gym every single day, even after work. And it was about $600 for like 2 years, 650, but it's truly worth it. It was the Super Sport membership, and you're basically paying like $24 a month, and you're saving a lot. I got accepted into 3 colleges. I found out that I got accepted into SDSU, UC Irvine, and CSU Long Beach by, I'd say, mid-February. I also got waitlisted for Fullerton, which is pretty funny. I quit Seki Ramen by late January. It was a fun job, but it was very stressful at times. Plus, there were some things being integrated, and so I just dropped during a transition period. I was also focusing on my supplementary apps, applying to like film school stuff because they have a separate application for that, for a lot of narrative production programs in other colleges. Yeah, it was just 3 a.m. late night closing shifts. I would go to school at like 6 a.m. to De Anza, and it was like a 30-minute commute. So I'd try to beat traffic because if you don't go that early, it'd probably be like an hour plus. I don't know how bad it is now. I heard it's worse, but I also quit because no sleep, and I would go to the gym right after work, and it would be very tiring. I mean, I only have like 1 to 2 hours of sleep depending on how long my gym session was. And somewhere along those lines, I applied to Phil's Coffee. Funniest thing is that I applied to Kick and Grab the first time I, quit Seki Ramen, and they gave me a day of training, but they ended up scheduling me like very badly. I came in because one of the employees told me to come in, and then I did 3 hours, and then I got kicked out because apparently that wasn't my training day. So right when they emailed me back, I was sitting in my local coffee shop, and Phil's emailed me back, and they're like, "Hey, why don't you, we'd like to meet you so you could be a part of the Phil's fam. Let's get an interview going." And so I was like, okay, F this. I dropped Kick and Crab because it was super unprofessional, and I applied to Phil's, and somewhere along those lines, and during April, I got hired. Interview process was very smooth. The girl who interviewed me was super nice, and like she was a film buff too, or a film nerd, and yeah, we were just talking about like classic horror movies like Nosferatu, and the original Night of the Living Dead, George Romero. It was just fun. Got to meet my store leader for the future, and yeah, that was probably the best training I've ever had too from a job. I didn't get scheduled late. It was 5 days of pure bliss. The training at Phil's really helps with that transition from one job to the next, and it gets you to like get familiar with the recipes, the Phil's philosophy, how to be a part of the family, and it was very fun. Phil's is like, I don't know. Phil's is a hidden gem, to be honest with you. Like my favorite part-time job that I've had now, and I've had 4 jobs, and this is probably my favorite job so far. And it's a family hidden in a small coffee shop. You get to meet some awesome people to relate to hang out with, and just vibe with. It doesn't feel like work at times. It just feels like, it kind of feels like you're bartending, and you're talking to customers, and you're like telling stories, cracking jokes right at the bar. It feels like that. A lot of solo adventuring, at the start of the year, I went to a lot of coffee shops, tried to explore around De Anza because I didn't get to do it the year prior. Also began to, go to movies, and go to like events and shows alone because, nobody else wanted to go. And I was like, screw it. I'd rather go by myself than not go at all. So I ended up going to Eden alone. Yeah, drive up to SF, really late night show, amazing, spectacular. I couldn't fathom how much energy there was, just because like I shot the Eden show in 2016 and it was a very small group, and then now like suddenly there was like a whole venue like sold out and it was just super booked. Everybody was just singing along, even to his new songs from an album he dropped early 2018 that like I couldn't even like remember because I think his show was the Saturday before he dropped his album, or no, after he dropped his album, and it was like 2 days after, and people already got the lyrics down, and I was like, damn, dude, there's so many like committed fans and stuff, and I was like, whoa. Got lost in SF, phone almost died, and just 30-minute walk from the venue to my like parking spot in Union Square or Union Square, Union something, yeah, and that was fun. One thing there is just don't be afraid to do things alone, whether it be solo traveling or just going to a movie alone, having dinner alone. Like, a lot of people think loneliness is negative. You could be alone. I guess loneliness is negative, but just being alone by yourself, you could very much just focus on things, enjoy life, and just be yourself, to be honest. Just keep yourself company at times. You're gonna need it. Sometimes I'm just there, just sitting alone at a coffee shop, and I'm just like wondering what it'd be like with another person. But I'm always focused on my work, and I do a lot of things productively by myself. So it's like, for every hour I've spent and I get like $1 at a coffee shop in 2018, I probably have enough for a Sony A7 III. So that's pretty funny. I was learning Japanese. I picked that up because I want to travel to Japan by winter 2019, so I need to learn the language. Thus, I picked up a bunch of books, learning hiragana, katakana, listening to like 1 hour like Japanese videos of like words you could know while I was sleeping. And I'd wake up and I'd say something, I'd be like, whoa, I knew that. I was editing a lot of pictures and videos. A lot of things happening in 2018. Going to the usual spots, Point Reyes, Shipwreck with some friends, Ben, and I think a couple trips to Yosemite. Kind of talk about that more later, but a couple trips. Not as much photo shooting as I wanted to do in 2018, but it was a significant amount, and I couldn't ask for more. Yeah, just being at a coffee shop just helps me control like my state of flow. And basically, flow is something made by Mikhail Senmihai. I can't really say his name, but I like the philosophy behind it, and it really comes true when I'm like really in this state of just like focus and just like passion and drive, and I'm just like writing, or I'm reading a book, or I'm just shooting out in the field, and I can definitely feel it. And something to look into if you don't know, if this is your first time hearing it, or if you know about it and you want to look more about it, just Google search it. Pretty sure there's a book about it. Trip to Yosemite. Thank you, Jackson and Mariah, for having me. This was April, and this was before prom season, so Jackson hired Christopher James on Instagram, and he is an amazing photographer. He does a lot of artistic nude portraits and like a lot of things doing with the human body, and it's really unique. I love his art style, and just fun to meet the dude. I ended up going with some friends, and yeah, we just like rented out an Airbnb, and it was just fun. Like, I couldn't ask for more. And yeah, and again, thank you, Jackson, for inviting me. I had a splendid time. How the year continued, May and August. I chose my school of transfer, CSULB, saving up for college. Probably before I left for Long Beach in early August. I was saving up for college, working as a full-time student, and parts of my job as a full-time barista. I'd spend like 30 to 40 hours just grinding, hustling. Yeah, it got stressful at times, a lot of amount of stress, but I was focused on like what I had to do. Saved up about a couple thousand before heading down to Long Beach. I'd say that's one of my like important things that I did for 2018. That was one of my goals that I wrote down the year prior in 2017. I was like, I have to get a passport. Shout out to my mom for helping pitch in. Still gotta pay her back for that. It was something I had to do, especially going to Japan in 2019. First time getting a passport, and I haven't traveled out of the country, so I guess this was just time to, put my foot out and say, I gotta do this, and I did. Multiple trips down to Long Beach, testing, orientation, had this like writing exam, just whatever. Got lost on the campus just doing the orientation stuff. Got to know about their student exchange program. There's some stuff, for like Japan. I'm really looking into it, but at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna try to like room with my roommates for, of course, the next year. Hopefully like a year of my life in Japan. That would be cool. Oh, and yeah, just meeting new people. I met a cousin I haven't seen in a while, like since I was like 6, 7, 8. And we're pretty tight now. He invites me over sometimes, and it's like, whoa, we go to a lot of food adventures. So it's pretty dope. He's showing me a lot of spots. Didn't know I had fam down here. Shout out to JR for being an awesome dude. It's just like, he's there when you need him. And I like that about people. Great characteristic. And yeah, just really thankful. Project platform event. Ooh, I think this was my first time showing my photography out. I know I could have did it at Phil's because they do hang up local art, but I don't know why I didn't get to do it. I think I just forgot. Just really consumed about my job. I sold some prints at the project platform event, and also it was a fashion show slash concert slash art event, and yeah, it was just a lot of creative heads showing up and like supporting each other. Before the event started, some guy was hanging up prints that I think he was like a digital artist, and I bought one. I was like, I really like this print, and I just bought it, and that just set the tone for everything. Support your local artists, a very big thing. We're all grinding and trying to like hustle, trying to support a lifestyle that we want to live. So very much support your local artists. Oh, and my cousins visited the event. Shout out to Ashley and Abby for doing that. I was very much happy to see them, gave them some prints. They also bought a print, or a couple, I don't know, but that was very nice of them. Hung out with them afterwards, played some Jenga. I'm really good at Jenga. Went to the NorCal night market with them and some other cousins. And then August came through, moved down to LB, said goodbye to the fam, leaving home for the first time, and it was very stressful. I was saying goodbye to friends that I'd never thought I'd say goodbye to. I was very inspired, had like 1, 2, 3 months of like just pure working, creative stuff, just like pushing stuff out, pushing content out. I had like a Medium time where I was like writing posts on medium.com and blogs, and had a daily blog. Did a lot of screenwriting, started on my nostalgia script, picked up Japanese at the same time, prior to that too, learning about that, doing that every day, working, school, and a lot of it just got very, very overwhelming, and I picked up too many things, just too many things at once. I was very burnt out. I stopped shooting in general. I didn't get as much shooting as I wanted to do in the summer. Like, I don't think any photo trips, and yeah, I was just really burnt out. It took twice the time to like get out of that like mindset, that creative black hole. That's what I call it. A lot of self-doubt, insecurity, whatever you make, crumbles. Yeah, and yeah, it was just that. That's how I ended my summer, in a very nonchalant way. There's like so many flies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meals in my bag. Damn, just hella. I gotta do some shit about this. Anyways, how the year ended. September to December. First couple months of school. Very... just that. Yeah, homesickness. I got actually sick. It was like 2 weeks of being sick. First week was hell. Second week was just, recovery. Um, my aunt ended up bringing me sinigang, which is very nice of her. College midlife crisis. Crazy. Is film school worth it? Still a question I'm asking myself. That was basically September through December. It was all that, and getting to know the roommates, Fang, Brian, Kevin, Pin, fun stuff. Joined Pack. Film classes just killing me slowly. I put that. I was looking back at my old planner of 2018, and then it said on, I think it was the month of October or November, it says, I'm dying. Transitioning back into like the creative lifestyle, trying to like produce content and like finishing up my screenwriting stuff and all of that really. Phil's Belmont Shore location started to like take applications, and I was like, dang, that's really close to home. It's less than 3 miles away. I couldn't go to Huntington because it was too far and my car broke down, so I was like, dang, it was just meant for me. So I ended up applying, waited for a call back, got it, got freaking lucky. What a coincidence. It's opening up like right there, and got the job. Very exciting. And I was like, okay, now I need another mode of transportation. So I invested into a boosted board, sold my Sigma 50mm 1.4 art lens because I wasn't really using it, and loving it so far. Coffee shop hangouts with strangers, friends. Got more into anime. I watched Bakuman Monogatari, got into My Hero, very invested in that. Grand Blue, One Piece, caught up, Shokugeki. I really miss the coffee shop hangouts. I hit up friends, asking them if they want to go. Just go to coffee shops, either alone or just with other people. Everybody has their own life, so you can't really force them into a lifestyle that you want to do, nor can you always have the right people around you. You gotta like really search out for people who want to do stuff with you and want to invest time into you, and likewise vice versa back, you investing time into them. November, continuation of my passion project. That was very fun. I mean, I'm still doing it now. It's not really coming to an end. I'd say I'm maybe more than halfway done to this one. I started it back in, I think before I came down to SoCal, either August or September. I think it was August or September. I don't know. Almost the goal of releasing 4 videos in 1 month in November. I think I released 3. December should be 3, if not 4. I don't know, because I'm supposed to be releasing like my goals for like 2019 video, but other than that, probably gonna have to do it on the 1st. If not, it's whatever. You don't really have to share everything online. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing or your personal life. First time flying since I was like 5, 6. Best 2 weeks of my life in SJ or from this year. Just going back, catching up with friends and family, celebrating my birthday. First time flying in years. Yeah. And it was just a heartwarming Thanksgiving. Caught up with the cousins. I think we went Black Friday shopping and just catching up with people. I never thought I'd like catch up with people from like high school, and luckily I got people who managed to like pull through. We didn't lose the bond, that connection, and I think that's the beauty of like maintaining relationships. It's that you don't forget who really has your back, nor like you're just cutting, nor aren't you like just cutting off people, because I don't really like that. I don't really believe in that lifestyle. You gotta do it when it's like most necessary. If you're just cutting off people intentionally, then you're just gonna be alone. Invest into your relationships. Invest your time into friends, your trust, and you gotta put in the work too. It's not one-sided. I'm becoming more confident in my filmmaking, developing a style, with the text and these type of videos, one-to-one. I love them. Shout out to Craig Adams. I don't know why I put the S. Shout out to Craig Adams for showing me this style. Like, I'm very inspired with it. And there are many YouTubers that I've picked up styles from, but this was like the one that I really love, just travel creators slash minimalism slash like nomad style. Filmmaking is phenomenal. And I really like the whole speech about manipulation versus inspiration, and just putting out content that's meaningful, something that I think at this day and age really needs, like an old style of YouTube, like the golden age of YouTube, when companies weren't there, when people invested their time into their audience, and things like that. December, Phil Store opened up. Around December 17th, I believe, 16th, 17th, soft opening, and then we officially opened up on the 19th. Jacob and Phil's came by. Crater, got to meet him. It's just, I'm loving my job so far. SF trip with the boys, it was our 4th year. That was just a few days ago. And just got to catch up with the people that are very close to me. Passed all my classes, yeah. Went back home for 5 days. Part of that one day was the SF trip day. The other 4 days was just catching up with people, dude. Like, no joke, I had no time to very much, take time for myself. I think there was like a section of it before I had to meet up with other friends where I spent time at the coffee shop, and it was just like planning for this video, finishing up my nostalgia script, things like that. And yeah, just finished up my nostalgia script. Other than that, it was 4 to 5 years of this short story just editing, and just like 2 separate years or a year of just turning it into a screenplay. We're done. And I just gotta storyboard it and hopefully film it someday. Or just have somebody else film it. I don't know. I would love to see the way somebody else films it, but at the same time, it hits home, and it's a 3-part series, So, who knows? If I were to choose a word for 2018, it would be adolescence. A year of adolescence, just barely turned 20, soul searching, finding myself, trying to find other people to like incorporate in my life and like, vibe off of. And still doing that. Still trying to find my tribe of people or a mentor to like invest time into and have them invest time into me. This year I was the most creative in a while. I was consuming content such as books, reading, articles and podcasts, videos, films, etc. Anything really to help me make my own content. And I'm just very proud of that. Passion project going off strong. I know I missed a week. That was finals week, man. That was super hard, but no excuses. And most importantly, just making my own projects and following up on my promise to myself. I want this to be a thing. I need this to be a thing. And I truly value what I'm doing now, just because, if I could help, other people with this medium, this type of filmmaking, then all the more to it. Helps the film community grow stronger. And 2019. 2019. A year for growth, a year for purpose and passion. Lots of goals to reach. You can't control everything, man. Like, it's the wind, it's the flies, it's the dogs barking. Just goals to reach, promises to keep, love to give, and just people to find. It's gonna be fun. 2019 is just coming around the corner. 2 more days, and we say goodbye to 2018. I'd say it was the most transitional period of my life when it came to 2018. A rough start. It's getting darker. If you're at the end of this video, I say thank you. Just because you've been listening this entire time, and sometimes in my life, I feel like my voice is unheard, and this is why I do this passion project also. It's kind of a selfish reason, but it's also a way for me to like vent, a way for me to express my feelings, and a way for me to like connect with others too. People watch my stuff and they're like, damn Michael, like I like what you say, or I really appreciate how you're like doing this type of content. And I'm like, wow, these are things I haven't heard since I was creating content when I was starting, since like high school. And I say I'm the most creative now, and I hope to keep that up and that same mentality towards 2019.